Welcome, race fans, back to SVR. This is the Premier season. This is the Premier Division, I should say. Excuse me. My name is Webbo, here to introduce the racing today. Of course, we've got the S1 guys getting ready. This is a sprint round, so we'll be heading into a reverse grid standing start race of 9 laps only in approximately 5 minutes time. Hopefully you all are ready for some frantic racing today. I'm certainly feeling very excited about this Barcelona round. This is of course Vader's home race today. So we're expecting big and very special things from him, of course. This is how the Teams Championship look after the Tokyo round, with all adjustments post-race from the steward inquiries and so forth having been completed. Kimi's racing team lead the championship on 139 points, ahead of Coach Dave Delta on 127. Delesi move ahead of Mega Racing into third place on 125, but by only one solitary point. Mega Racing dropping down to fourth. You've got JPI Racing in fifth place, Jamplacht Interiors that is, of course, with Bergstein Racing showing just 7 points behind Brokaga, who are in sixth with 69 points overall. You can have a look now at the Drivers' Championship. Well, after a double back-to-back win, Beregoz takes a stranglehold really over the championship here after 6 rounds on 101 points and is 11 to the good against Vader. But Vader was unable to race last time. He is here though at his home track, so we are looking forward to seeing what he can do. Arya is in third place, missing the previous round, and rumours were floating around that perhaps Arya is going to miss today as well. But BaloFey, as you may know him, rides in that fourth place with 3 podiums so far this race. 2 podiums so far this year at round 3, and of course in Tokyo on 75 points. Soulshock, who's kindly donating his time today to host the racing. He's in 5th place on 55. Vicinity moving up ahead of the Stig. Vicinity in 6th place with 49. The Stig dropping to 47. Another driver who I think has been unable to make it, replaced by Redux today on the track. Senor Dude, thank you to Senor Dude as well for providing the introduction video today that was on the waiting screen that you enjoyed. No new livery for Coach Dave today, so no reveal video for that, but he continues to help us with content. And if you've got a content idea, especially for the pre-show, please do speak up. So Scavi is in 9th place, joint 8th really on point total against Senor Dude. Bestie Mario is in 10th. We've got QT in 11th, followed by Joe Gonsim, who gains a position, has 24 points after netting 11 with a huge upturn in form in Tokyo there, a very popular 4th place. Yank the Tank drops to 13th place on 23, just 1 point behind Joe. Then you have Woe Grizzle and Redux, who of course took part in the previous race and is here today as well, and I'm sure won't be around for too long. Waiting in the wings. You can visit our website info.svr-racing.com if you want to track everybody's stream today. I will of course be alternating between different streams as we get underway. But let's just give you some vroom vroom cars to watch, and we can check the audio as well today. But I'm hoping everybody is looking forward to this one. Bijan checking in from work. That's very good of you, Bijan. This is just practice. This is not even the sprint race yet. We've got the sprint followed by a 10-minute quali. So 9 lap sprint, 10-minute quali, followed by a 1-hour race here around the gloriously sunny, as you would expect, Barcelona Circuit at Catalunya. Number 95 here. This is QT, just getting warmed up, ready for that sprint, which we're expecting to be in any minute time. We will see a reset, and there you go. You don't see that. I see Soulshock saying we are starting. So get ready then for the race. We'll be on track momentarily for you, starting in reverse championship order. where Grizzle will start at the front, Yank the Tank on second position, but all eyes really to the back of the grid here. Redux will start down in 12th, it looks like. I'm not sure if he's got a quali ban or what the reasoning behind that is, but anyway, that seems to be the situation then for him as we get rid of the unimportant information. Jose, Liquid Gecko and Redux are at the back of the grid. We'll keep an eye on Beregoz and Vader, who will start 10th and 11th, but at the front of the grid it's Woe Grizzle versus Yank the Tank, Jogon Sim on the second row. And it's dropped the clutch and go for our Spanish sprint. And it looks like Joe getting away fairly well initially from the line. And check this one out. We may have 5 wide on the run down to the first corner. Yank the Tank, it seems, and Jogon Sim moving forwards up into first and second position. But Beregoz and QT then queuing up here to get past everybody and get a move on. They desperately want to pick up those World Championship points, and Beregoz in 10th place. We've got Vicinity in that 10th place now as Beregoz gets a position here. Beregoz on the medium tyres. You'll probably see most of the drivers sticking with that medium tyre, but there is BaloFey, who's gone for the softs in number 92. And the fast boys are making their way through the grid. You've got Soulshock in 5th. You've got Senior Dude. Vader has got up to 3rd position before the end of Sector 2 here from, I think, 10th position on the grid. Here he comes then down the back straight between turns 9 and the all-important big stop of turn 10. A big shake to the inside from Vader, but it wasn't quite on. Here comes BaloFey versus Senior Dude. BaloFey leaving Senior Dude with little choice there but to make his own arrangements on the exit of the turn 10 in towards turn 11. Beregoz in 6th, Senior Dude and Scavvy your top 8 at this point, but Vader is absolutely powering this one on the soft tyres, using all of the boost as much as he possibly can. A reset back to the all red livery then for Coach Dave. Never lift on the rear wing and down into second position then at the start of lap 2. Let's try and give you some no, I haven't been able to save the start, unfortunately, the start replay, but Yank the Tank leads by 0.8 of a second from Vader ahead of Jogon Sim. Soulshock in 4th place then with that colour change, purple Kimmy's livery, and BaloFey in 5th place as being asked if Hector is broken. Well, it looks to be, well, yeah, BaloFey looks to be showing wrong. I will just hit refresh here and try and get that order organised for you, but certainly BaloFey looking like he's further up in the order than he currently is, unfortunately. So I'm going to just give you the main race display while I try and make sure that is going to work out for you. So BaloFey in 5th, going a long way round the outside of that all-important turn 10, and behind him you've got Jose Luis and Senior Dude fighting hard over 6th and 7th position. Vader has taken the lead of the race already. That's quite astonishing then before lap 2 is done with, as he was side by side through lap 10, turn 10 and 11 into 12, and he's significantly through already. Vader leads the race at the start of lap 3 here, going super wide on entry, and I think Yank just learning that line as Soulshot goes down on the inside against Jogon Sim. I thought perhaps Beregoz has made his way through, but Jogon Sim hampered then through the corner. BaloFey following through, trying to get an overlap here. He's got the inside line, but we know the outside line has got a lot of grip out there. Thank you, Fernando Alonso, for teaching everybody that. As Beregoz in 6th place is 4.3 seconds away from Vader. On the medium tyres, may come good later on, and BaloFey is clearly able to extract a lot more performance here. Just trying to get the overlap. It's a tricky move going into turn 7, but beautifully done then from BaloFey up to 4th position ahead of Jogon Sim, who I imagine will probably step out of the way of his teammate Beregoz, who runs through. So here is Beregoz into 6th place down the inside of Jogon Sim, and that was pretty easy, pretty straightforward, as Jose Luis tries to take advantage of this run as well. But of course Jogon Sim with far less reason to move him through there. Here is Senior Dude. We've got Scavvy in P9 and Vicinity in that P10 at the moment. on the soft tyres and needing to get a bit of a hurry on, I think, here to try and make the best out of this run. QT enjoying life a little bit more in this sprint race, in 11th place at the moment. Woe Grizzle in 12th, who started on the pole position. Redux in 13th, and Liquid Gecko with a penalty in that 14th position. But Vader is checking out, 4.4 seconds his advantage at the moment, and over Soulshock, who has taken the position over Yank the Tank. Let's try and see exactly what happened there. I think it was down into turn 1, and Soulshock making a great move through past Yank the Tank. BaloFey then hot on the heels of the Buckstein Transport Service driver, back in the white and teal, which we love to see, this glorious livery, of course, for BaloFey. And then we've got Team Mega back in black and red here for a daytime race, after going to chrome for the night races. Beregoz in 5th, and chasing BaloFey down very hard at this stage. It's lap 4 of the 9. We're nearly halfway through the sprint race already. Beregoz, the flying Finn, and father of Hector, our race engineer AI system, giving the drivers plenty of information throughout the course of the race, and they run through then to start their 5th lap. Beregoz has overtake aplenty left in the tank. You've got BaloFey right there, but he's picked up a half-second penalty and has spent nearly all of his overtake button push to pass system, and he will start to be feeling those soft tyres now, I feel fairly certain. And you can already see then Beregoz getting the tighter line going through turn 3 in towards turn 4. Drivers going very wide on the way into the corner, but I feel like going down the back straight, you will see Beregoz easily move through past BaloFey here with that penalty. And from Beregoz's point of view, you would normally be able to see that the car in front has a penalty. So we will see if he knows that, or he will just see it when it happens. So Beregoz then coming through turn 9. And there's the slowdown yellow marker on the track. There is the slowdown action from BaloFey, who defends to the inside. He will ghost momentarily there, but Beregoz couldn't quite pounce. It was only half a second off full throttle, but Beregoz through beautifully down the inside. It took a while, but it looked like possibly we had the car a little bit slow. You can see there the slowdown from Balo. He's hesitating. He's trying to hog the inside line here, and Beregoz just sweeping outside to inside and moving through very nicely. That's a little bit like what happened in roles reverse. BaloFey did a similar thing to a driver early on passing. Balo coming back at Beregoz down into turn 1, but it's not going to happen. Beregoz on medium tyres got loads more in the way of overtake. I'm questioning the fuel amount remaining though on Beregoz's car. I'm going to try and give you Hector if it's working, our overlay system. But at the moment, I'm not seeing any information to suggest that is working. In fact, I can't seem to interact with Hector either, so we may have an issue. I'll try and get that refreshed and set up in time for the race later on. The feature race, there should be the opportunity in a few moments. But Vader leading Soulshock from Yank the Tank at Beregoz. You can see Soulshock up the road here in P2. And he's wearing through his soft tyres. Most drivers on a small amount of fuel remaining here. Most drivers indicating that the fuel tanks are getting low, but not so low, I think, that they're going to have a problem. Jogon Sim might be starting to manage that fuel load at this stage. P7, I don't know if the starting fuel is a little bit low for the drivers, as we get a refueling indicator here on the track. You can see Jogon Sim has put in 11,000 miles on his SF23 model so far. You've got Senor Dude coming through. He's in 8th place. Scavvy in 9th, showing very well indeed. Let's see if Vicinity can get the overtake done as they head down in towards turn 1. Vicinity with the soft tyres, with the pace advantage at this point, and going through into P9. Nice overtake from the Team Mega driver, leaving Scavvy to watch his mirrors for QT. Got Woe Grizzle in 12th place, racing for Bro Carga in the matte black and green. That was more of a night livery, I feel. We may have a slight disagreement over the Bro Carga liveries as well today. Redux in 13th, guest driving here, and then Liquid Gecko at the back in the Kimi's Racing Team Lamborghini powered SF23. But Vader is leading this race by 7.7 seconds after how many laps? 7. Absolutely astonishing from him. Really, really impressive as ever from our very own Dark Lord of the Sith. Yeah, unfortunately, Hector appears to have died on me and completely let go. I'll try and do a full reload in between the sessions, but yeah, unfortunately, no news from Hector. Soulshock leading Beregoz by 1.5 seconds. Expect those tyres to come in good later on. BaloFey is trying to filter on through past Yank the Tank here. Car number 92, Yank the Tank challenging hard on the way into the corner. Jose trying to follow him in, and wow. Yank the Tank sweeping across the nose, trying to make sure that he doesn't lose out there in the filtering. Yank the Tank on the medium tyres will now be catching BaloFey here with just 1.5 laps left to run for our drivers. About the same there for our leader Vader. Beregoz is third, remember now leading the championship by 11 points. Vader is ready to try and take that lead back here at the moment. It's Beregoz following Soulshock and catching Soulshock as well. 0.6 of a second back to BaloFey, but Yank has drifted off the back of BaloFey, presumably suffering a bit of dirty air. So we'll keep an eye on Beregoz as the penultimate lap comes to a close here at S1. Vader looks to be nailed on here for potential win. Fastest lap so far, 1:19.076. He is on the soft tyres, so is Soulshock, but Beregoz's tyres are looking very, very healthy, and so is his amount of overtake boost remaining. He may leave himself a little bit of overtake left for the drag out of the final corner. And heading into turn 1, and there's no way through at the moment. Looked like Yank was defending hard against Jose. Yank on the inside. Jose sweeping around on a much wider line. Might get tucked up underneath the Buckstein car on the way through turn 3, but the dirty air effect through there is absolutely terminal. A really difficult corner to follow one by one. It is the final lap now, and Beregoz, you can see Soulshock defending very hard down into turn 5. BaloFey closing in on this battle now. That's going to really frustrate Beregoz. This is the battle for second, third and fourth positions. Soulshock in second. Beregoz following him in the white and black Delesi car, with BaloFey for Team Mega in P4 at the moment. Hungry for a podium as he goes very wide. Beregoz, and wow, down the inside tries BaloFey. It wasn't quite going as Soulshock defending hard on the inside line. BaloFey is crashing. BaloFey is off the circuit at the end. Vader is your winner of the sprint race in Spain, and Beregoz manages to filter through as well. Tremendous right at the death. Soulshock couldn't hold him off on the better tyre at the end of the race, and there goes Beregoz into second. Soulshock in third. Yank the Tank fourth. Jose in fifth, and Jogon Sim in sixth. BaloFey in seventh position. This is how the final couple of corners went down. I'm on a different driver than I want to be. Here they are. Soulshock defending, but in the end he couldn't hold the inside line. It was through the penultimate corner for Beregoz he went through. Incredible driving there from Vader in particular, and he picks up the win. Vader, a 1:19.0 of his overall time, 12 minutes 15. His time with the best lap of a 1:19.0 was some 2.5 seconds faster than anybody else. Beregoz came home in second, Soulshock in third, Yank the Tank in fourth, Jose in fifth, with Jogon Sim. BaloFey, unfortunately, with a penalty as well, and a little reset, I think, going so far off the track into the final sector of the final lap in seventh, finishing and just finishing ahead of Senor Dude in 8th, Vicinity in 9th, Scavvy in 10th, Redux in 11th place. We have Wogrizzle in 12th, Liquid Gecko in 13th place, and QT at the back, unfortunately, with a disastrous end to the race. QT finishing with a penalty as well, out in 14th place. Well, that was our sprint race. Fantastic finish, says our Tame Racing driver Ben Cox. Great to have everybody here with you. And Red's here, as is Bijan cheering on Yank the Tank, and Flash as well. Breaker Piston. We were settling on Breaker Wing, but Breaker Leg is also an acceptable one here for the drivers. So now we have to go. Jose saying, Yank, I just needed one more straight there in the chat. I'm going to try and get a fresh upload of Hector. Let's see if I can make sure that we get Hector correctly for you. So yeah, I'm going to do what I can. I'm assuming here that the people I sent Hector to earlier, I'm afraid that they were suffering the same issue. So what I'll do is I will drop it into... Oh, I can't drop it in the live chat, unfortunately. It's one of the strange factors of streaming onto a channel through a key here. So we've got 2 minutes until qualifying. That was absolutely fantastic work from the drivers to put in a great result there for the race. Let me see if Hector is looking any more like it. No, unfortunately not. Getting ready for qualifying, but I do hope that this is going to show nicely. Maybe it was the sprint. Was it showing qualifying before? I think it may have been. So hopefully it doesn't then reset to show something it shouldn't do. Here again, just to remind you of your sprint race results from the sprint. Vader winning against Beregoz, and Soulshock with Yank the Tank, Jose, Joe, BaloFey, and Senor Dude, the top 8. But it is looking a little bit ominous here for Vader. He's not infallible. He has been known to spin on his own, but it looks like it might be a situation where we're kind of waiting and hoping for that to happen. We wouldn't wish it on anybody, but Vader, who has been leading our championship, who has been leading our championship since day one, and has wanting to get that straight back. Of course, we're getting ready for qualifying, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about other factors of our race momentarily after that 10-minute qualifying setup. But yeah, hopefully you are all comfortable and getting ready. I can reveal to you that we have some new merch available on the SVR shop. The QR code is on the screen if you want to have a look at some pretty cool t-shirt designs. We've got special ones for the teams, some hats, some Father's Day gifts as well if you're in need of a Father's Day present, or your children are in need of inspiration. I can think of nothing better than having a look. Do make sure you're doing the right thing today as well, and you are being sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're liking the video, and if you're feeling generous, you can always go ahead and subscribe to my channel too, at Webo Red 5 or Webo Commentary under the search box. Well, we're ready for qualifying to begin. This will be a rolling start for the drivers, as always. Then it will be a 10-minute faux race, where we're hoping that we will be able to get the information on the screen for you. That is all important, of course, from Hector. Let's see, as we try to get everybody ready. Showing Grizzle as the leader here on my screen rather than Scavvy. There shouldn't be any overtaking through this period. I'll pick you a driver, perhaps one of the Kimmy's drivers. So let's have a look, maybe, shall we? I just want to make sure that I get the proper situation. That does look like we're working a bit better right now. Actually, several drivers have decided not to stream today, and that is very unfortunate. I'm going to go to Senor Dude stream as we wait then for qualifying to begin. We'll ride on board with Grizzle, who has the lead into the first few corners. Now, I don't suppose that is done by default. No, he's allowed a couple of drivers to slip in front here. This is Yank the Tank then. It's very generous of Grizzle to give up the position. Normally this is organised in order of the driver rating, but because I think we had the situation where the custom grid was organised previously for the race, for the sprint race in reverse championship order, I think that has repeated itself for them. So hopefully we will get what we need. I'm just trying to see if Yank the Tank himself is streaming. He is today, so that's great. As the drivers get ready for qualifying, the order on your screen should be reading as per the fastest laps, not the faux race that we're running. Why do we run a 10-minute endurance race setup? So that we can do saved replays in the case of any post-session reports that might come in from the drivers. Here is Yank the Tank then powering out of the final corner, turn number 14 officially, and down a very long straight over a crest before heading wide into the entry then of turn 1. Drop 3 gears, it looks like, overall. Quick switch back into 2 and then straighten the car up as quickly as possible to get hooked up in towards turn 3. Now I imagine most of the drivers will be taking turn 3 flat in these SF23s. The slower cars, the cars with less downforce, including the AN cars I was driving earlier on, and the GT3s will have to blend through the throttle to get the car to hook up into the apex. But through turn 5 we go now, and then we climb the hill. We'll see plenty of drivers, I think, having issues coming out of turn 7. Turn 9 is a blind, full throttle usually, and trust to luck for your exit. Incredibly late braking down all the way to first gear, then a quick short shift up to protect the rears on the way through turn 10. We're in through 11, and now the 180-degree constant radius hairpin corner of turn 12 before 2 almost identical right-handers, but with very different surfaces on their inside apexes and exit curbs. Here comes Yank the Tank then to cross the line. He gets a 121.3. Behind him, it looks like we've got Vicinity crossing the line, and we've got Vicinity in second place. There goes BaloFey into first place, Vicinity down to third, Yank in second. We've got Grizzle up to third place. He showed very well in the previous race, didn't he? We've got Senor Dude going through into fifth. Beregoz goes second, quickly in the order. And we've got Liquid Gecko in seventh place overall. And we're waiting for Vader's time to come in. But BaloFey gets the fastest time so far, 119.909. Where is the Dark Lord of the Sith, Vader? And what is his first time? Well, he has decided to pit very early, get some good track position here, not set a fast lap, not give anybody the satisfaction of knowing exactly what his times are, and let them guess what he can do here. Will he go for 1 flying lap, 2 back-to-back? Will he go for a second pit stop and try and get through here? We will see. If you haven't yet said hello and you're watching with us, do so. I'd love to make everybody feel part of today's stream and race. If you see something while you're watching another driver's stream, or you're accessing the information and the head-to-head and any statistics that you might like to call out from our website, info.svr-racing.com, then please do call out anything that you see. I'll keep my eye on the live chat throughout, so that you do feel part of today's stream. This is Vader warming those front tyres, or at least trying to. Down we go into turn 10. He's got a absolutely beautiful clear air in front of him. But the longer he spends warming these tyres, the more likely it is that drivers pitting will come out right with him. So he does need to power on round on those new soft tyres here at this stage. Running on through the final corner goes Vader. First flying lap about to begin. He was very wide coming out of the final corner, turn 14. We'll see if that cost him anything. And there exactly is the problem. You've got a driver coming out of the pits. Thankfully, they've seen him right out onto the outside green section of the track as he's explored fully the limits of the track. And fantastic turn in here for Vader. He's going to cut across the wake of the Bro Cargo car, but thankfully for him, the car sticks fantastically through turn 3. Lots of drivers into the pits. Vader's already done that big snap on the way through turn 4. That will have cost him 2 or 3 tenths, I would imagine. Through turn 5, climbing all over the curb. Vader is pushing incredibly hard here, trying to get that car hooked up neat and tidy. Might be flirting with disaster through turn 8, but Yeah, the track more than familiar with Vader's lines around turn 9, down into turn 10, waiting for something like 60 meters before braking the car. Big snap once again. I don't know if that was dirty air, distraction, or just a bit over exuberant on the loud pedal. Through turn 12 we go, just 2 to go now. You can climb all over that inside curve. You can go right out over the top of the yellow curb on the exit of the turn 13 through turn 14 and crossing the line. A 19.892 is well, it's a lot closer to Balo than I thought it would be, but he did have his problems on that previous lap. Here is Beregoz and his hunt then for another new fastest lap to try and get you a little bit of better car information, at least on the screen, and hopefully that will give you his updates. But we've got Beregoz then running through. We've got BaloFey in second place. This is Beregoz on his second flyer, on his second set of new soft tyres. Let's click over, well, I would click over to a different driver. Let's go to Scabby then, as we've been watching Yank the Tank. We'll watch with Scabby as we wait for, of course, the warm-up through Twitch to appear through here. And we'll get hopefully get some updates on Beregoz's pace at this stage. Coming through turn 10, he has got a car in front of him. It's one of the Team Mega cars, I believe, and heading down towards turn 10. And again, another car just going very wide, trying to get out of the way as much as possible. But I think Beregoz was a little bit late on the turn-in, unfortunately. Hi to Biggerwood as well. As Kim says, great watching the cars off the racing line. Yeah, I think that's Kim of Kimmy's as they come through the final corner. And here comes Beregoz, and it's a new pole position, a 19.628. He beats Vader by a quarter of a second, which is exactly what we want to see. The driver's absolutely pushing like crazy here. Vader's back into the pits for another new set of soft tyres, I believe. Let me just check on the time to go here. I think he's got just about enough time to head on in and come on out with a new set of those tyres, as Senor Dude is about to start a new lap. He set a fastest time for himself, went to P6. The order at the moment: Beregoz P1 from Vader, from BaloFey, from Jose, then Grizzle, Senor Dude, Yank the Tank and Vicinity. We are expecting some real fascinating strategies today as well. I think some drivers are going to try and hang on to the soft tyres as long as they can. The mediums are going to be the most usable tyre. I think we're going to have 2, 3, possibly even 4 pit stops operating through the course of today. So we really look forward to seeing that. Trying to find you a driver who is on a good lap at the moment. This is Liquid Gecko, currently in 9th place. Vader comes out of the pits, and he will have a chance, I think. What is the race time looking like? He's got 40 seconds to cross the line. I don't think he's got enough. I think Vader is going to try and cross the line and do this, but I think he's going to run out of time before. He's got 30 seconds remaining. He's going to have to find a shortcut, I think, in this final sector. If anybody knows a short way around the track here in Barcelona, the Catalunya circuit, it's going to be Vader as we go through. 15 seconds to go now. He really needs to get a hurry on if he wants to get this final lap in on the soft tyres. He's got barely any fuel left. But I think it's going to be too little too late. We're down to 5 remaining seconds. Can he do it? He will have a tow from the car in front. There's lots of cars stopped, and there is the 10-minute timer and the checkered flag for Vader. Unfortunately, that means that Beregoz is your fastest driver in qualifying. Absolutely amazing, as the drivers are not really getting out of each other's way here. Yank the Tank is pushing. Yank the Tank is on a hot lap. I think Beregoz has managed to get one as well. Let's have a look at him. Here comes Yank the Tank to cross the line, and he finishes with a 122 in the end. We've got Soul Shock, we've got Jose. I'm going to try to find for you Beregoz here. Where is he? He's crossed the line. Beregoz is your fastest driver here in qualifying. He gets the pole on a 119.628. Biggerwood asking, are the numbers in the tyre colours the number of pits? The number in the tyre colours, I believe, is the number of laps in age of the drivers since their pit stop. So several drivers haven't told Hector what compound they're running, but they look to be a mixture of 2, 3 and 4-lap old tyres. That should be the situation there for Biggs. And thank you for your message about my race. I'm not going to give out any spoilers, just in case anyone wants to watch my race stream before the AN stream is published. You can find that at Webber Red 5 as usual, of course, and we'll just make sure that I get that information off the screen for you. But the fastest driver out there, Beregoz, from Vader and BaloFey, Jose in 4th, Wogrizzle in 5th place and then we've got Redux, Senor Dude, Yank the Tank, Vicinity, Soul Shock, Liquid Gecko, Jogon Sim down in 12th place. He was talking on the podcast about how he keeps qualifying in 13th. I'm not sure about Vicinity and about QT because their times have been disconnected from Hector. That's going to make life a little bit difficult to call the race if they feature up in the top 10. But hopefully they will get the chance to reseat and get it in touch with everything. I'm just going to check in. I should get the results from qualifying in a few moments' time sent to me from Hector directly, but if not, hopefully Soulshot will be able to furnish me with those. I will try and find that information for you as well on my alternate screens as well. So we'll do what we can to get you that information. Yeah, let's see wherever it's possible. I didn't manage to find it before, unfortunately, and we're waiting then to see what will become of our session. But we've got Beregoz in 1st, Vader in 2nd, then BaloFey and Jose Luis Cervantes to finish this one out. So fantastic, exciting qualifying. We had a lot of fun with the ignore that. We had a lot of fun with the run earlier on and in the sprint race, but everything is reset now for qualifying. So as soon as I get that information, I will bring it back to you. But let me just have a quick look then at our calendar so far. We have been enjoying the races. We are past the halfway point of our 13 race season here at the moment. My word, how quickly has this season disappeared on us. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. As Vader is just saying, he needed 2 more seconds to get through to start that final lap. So that representing our 7th race of the season from the Tokyo round that we went to. With no concerns in sim racing about crisscrossing the world. So we go back to Japan for the next race at Kyoto Driving Park, the Yamagawa circuit configuration. That for the Formula Cars is on the 22nd of June. Red Bull Ring is on the 6th of July, and a little call out here for the 6th of July and the following week for any aspiring commentators. If you are watching and you would like to give it a go, I will not be able to be in attendance for those 5 races, so we have the opportunity for you to try out for 2026 and potentially take over the AN division this season if everybody in the league is in agreement. So if you're thinking, can I do it? Would I like to do it with a friend? Then give it a go. We've got the opportunity there in the Red Bull Ring. Round 9. Dragon Trail will be, which I often call Dragon Tail. I don't think I have any form of dyslexia. I have some sort of problem with reading numbers, but not with letters. So that's not the situation. No excuse for that for me. But I often call it Dragon Tail. It's the seaside arrangement then in round 10 in Croatia, the home of Senor Fak. Then round 11 will be Spa. Round 12 Nürburgring. Finishing. What an amazing classic race finish there for the season. We'll be going Spa, Nürburgring, Monza. So I know a lot of drivers are really looking forward to Monza. Not. Anyway, we will hope that that things go fairly smoothly. I can't yet see the sessions here from Hector, so I'm hoping that Soulshock is listening in and can furnish me with them. Let's see if I can get hold of the data for you as quickly as possible. Yeah, I will just do a quick reveal then of the drivers here as they started the season anyway. in our fabulous run on our fabulous SVR. This is the VR Sim Racing World Championship, and I'm just vamping a little bit because I've lost my driver count. I think it's in here somewhere. Not that one. Oh, unfortunately, I seem to have lost lost the driver information. Let's see if I can get it for you. Nonetheless, I have to create a new everything here to get hold of it. So please wait a moment for me. Here we go. Well, there we go. Sorry, we've got I've got people asking if they can send me friend requests for some reason. Everybody now just pinging me. So let me see if I can't get that back, get some indication from what exactly the drivers are looking for from me, and I'll get you something different to look at. One moment. Back to it then, guys. We are about to get underway. The order on the screen on Hector is the order of the qualifying, so that should be good enough for us to have a look at it. It's Beregoz on a 1:19.628. Vader absolutely didn't get the best out of qualifying, but with this, I think you can look back on the qualifying session and see 2 seconds of tyre warm-up procedure. He probably would rather he did not spend doing everything together. We've got Vader then in second, so it'd be a fascinating look into the two of them on the way through into turn 1, 2 and 3 here of lap 1. We're going to go for 49 laps around Catalunya, so help keep me company and make sure that you're keeping me on my toes here. BaloFey in third and Jose Cervantes in fourth place. Everybody just temporarily disconnecting from Hector, excuse me, and then the grid is being set then for the race. And thank you to Solshock for all of his efforts here. I think everybody is just deciding to spam me with notifications for no real reason other than to entertain themselves because they're not allowed to go on track. Obviously making sure that that they make sure that they're annoying me to death here. We're about to get underway then for our race. We will be running for around an hour, but it looks like it's going to be a numbered lap count here. We can't seem to make up our mind whether we do this or not. So there we have row 2, Scavi and Jose Luis Cervantes. Row 3, Yank the Tank and Joe Gone Sim. Unless Solshock's just decided to put himself on pole position. I don't think he has. So we should be back to it. I'll make sure I get you a driver. Perhaps we'll go to Senor Dude's picture-in-picture here. Make sure that we can see what the drivers are up to. And maybe we can even watch all the ads here on Twitch while we wait. But hopefully that will all be resolved as soon as possible. A reminder about our QR code here on the screen for our merch store at SVR. If you know an SVR driver and you're watching, click that QR code and make sure you buy them a gift for as soon as possible, or to tell them that you appreciate them. If they happen to be a father, then there are some Father's Day gifts, or they know a father who are a fan of racing or sim racing. We're about to get underway then for the race, and hopefully we will be able to enjoy the race together. And as I say, do make sure you make sure you are part of today's stream as much as possible. My apologies for turning everything on, but it does help me to track the race. Beregoz and Vader at the head of the field for round 7 of the feature race championship here at the Sim Racing Virtual Reality Sim Racing World Championship. And the lights are on, and it's dropped the clutch, and go, go, go. How about this from BaloFey closing in? Beregoz versus Vader continue down on the line, but Vader can't defend from everybody, as it looks like Jose Luis going down all the way down the inside line. Not quite from him, but it looks like we've got BaloFey in the lead of the race. Beregoz being boxed out here. He's decided to start on the hard tyres, and it is all going a little bit pear-shaped for Beregoz, but Jose Luis Cervantes and BaloFey both, well, no, Jose on the softs, BaloFey on the mediums, has managed to get away here very nicely from the start using those soft tyres, and he's got himself into second as Jose Grizzle also in 4th position now and chasing down Vader. QT snuck his way past Beregoz, who's deposed down to 6th place. We've got Yank the Tank in 7th, and Senor Dude, who is your picture-in-picture, challenging Yank the Tank as they go through turn 5. There's Yank the Tank off the circuit as well. Yank the Tank unfortunately spinning through the exit of turn 5. Some drivers pushing, some drivers taking this first opening lap very, very carefully. And Redux versus Scavi is the battle going down into turn 10. No one running too long into the corner. Solshock unfortunately has dropped all the way down to 12th. We've got Joe Gone Sim in his favourite position, 13. And there is Scavi right at the back with Yank the Tank also. A terrible start for Berkestein, but BaloFey versus Jose Luis Cervantes continues then as they run down the long run down the start-finish straight. They are trading push to pass buttons, one for the other. Jose's got the nose ahead, but BaloFey certainly got the right to hold the inside line through the corner, but a great overtake from Jose Luis Cervantes, screaming into 1st position, and Vader's picked up a half-second penalty for perhaps just going a tiny amount too wide as we look back at the start of the race. As they scorch away from the line, you can already see BaloFey and Jose on the medium and soft tyres respectively going down the inside, and it looks like it was a really good overtake position then from Jose Luis as he comes through to claim that position. Everybody going wide and Jose going all the way around the outside. Let's have another look then from further back in the order as the drivers come through. We'll try and maybe look from Jogon Sim's perspective. This is Scavi starting at the very back of the grid, and you can see how congested it was on the way down into the first corner here for the drivers. A little bit of lag, it seems, on Joe's car. Liquid Gecko and Solshock, the two Kimmy's cars making contact with either side of Joe's run. And here goes Scavi saying, thank you very much, I'll take all those places, as you guys all continue to fight. But unfortunately for Buckstein, it hasn't gone well. Jose leads the race on the soft tyre. Bolide in second place. Vader, who was all conquering at the start and through the sprint race so far, is it down into third position with Woe Grizzle, fighting now with Beregoz, who's on the hard tyres and just about getting those up to temperature, goes towards the inside line. Woe Grizzle holds on around the outside. That becomes the inside for the next corner, but Beregoz bossing the inside line through turns 1 and turn 3. QT going wide, but hanging on in car number 95 in 6th place. But Beregoz making the move and completing the move in the end through the corner. QT picking up a penalty on the way through there, unfortunately just going offline, and Senor Dude has picked up no end of positions. He's now in 7th position on the medium tyres. Vicinity's on the mediums. Most drivers picking that medium tyre apart from Beregoz and Jose Luis Cervantes, who have gone for the hard and the soft tyres respectively. There you can see the black and gold of Jamplacht Interiors with the reserve driver Redux, who may now be the permanent driver. I haven't received personal confirmation of that. Scavi in 12th, Jogon Sim in 13th, and Yank the Tank at the back, who I think managed to avoid damage. He'll be very, very grateful to see. And the driver's starting on about 75% of fuel here. If I can remind us the lap we're on and total laps periodically, that would be incredible. Okay, we're on lap 4 of 49 at the moment, so it's 49 laps total. As Jose Luis, to many of our audience's joy, is up there in first position. Vader has taken second place off BaloFey. Let's see if we can find out if that was just push to pass or a mistake from Bolide. I feel like it was likely to be a mistake there from Bolide, simply because of the delta between the two of them right now. Beregoz in 4th place and picking up the pace now, where Grizzle down into 5th at this particular point in time. Let's change drivers picture in pictures. We'll go over to Scavi, I think, who's running in that I would say P6. But I don't think that is true. I think Scavi, his connection to Hector is a little bit off, and it's showing as red on his number 6 there. So from my perspective, Scavi is outside of the top 8 and down at the back of the grid. Beregoz in 4th, going faster than he has gone before so far on this lap 4 of the 49. QT coming through in that 6th position, but Jose leads Vader by 1.6 seconds so far. At least to my graphic rather than Hector's. Let's see if we might be able to do a quick little restart on Hector, because I'm not sure everything is showing correctly on there. It's saying temporarily that Jose's dropped down as well. So Jose is leading the race by 1.2 seconds from Vader, who is 2.1 seconds ahead of BaloFey, who himself is 2 seconds ahead of Beregoz. Looks like, unfortunately, Hector's order is all at sea today. Hector's getting a little bit confused, so we'll give him a little bit of time. But at the moment, at least, we are missing some key information. Jose is the leader at this time, ahead of Vader. Now there's QT in 6th place. We've got Vicinity, who is your picture-in-picture, running in 7th. And he's on the mediums from the start of the race, as the majority of the drivers actually are. Solshock chasing down now Senor Dude, and Vader catching Jose Luis, and obviously the drivers have free choice on the tyres. I think they have to change compounds, so whatever they started on, they must use a different compound of tyre, but they can choose any combination, any number of the tyres that they wish to use. So obviously that means one mandatory stop, but the drivers are expecting to make far more than one stop today. We're only just about 1/10 distance through the race. Solshock right hot on the heels here of Senor Dude, 1/4 of a second between them. Solshock on the medium, so is Senor Dude. Using a little bit of push to pass is Solshock. Acts like a little bit of DRS down the main straight. And if you watch IndyCars, you'll be familiar with push to pass. Super Formula 2, of course. But Solshock in P9 is doing his best here to try and take on Senor Dude. I'm keeping my eye on the two leaders here, but they are starting to get closer. It looks like Vader is chasing down Jose Luis. Unfortunately, at the moment anyway, we've got the wrong information on our screen, and Scavy is much further back than he appears. Here goes Solshock, feinting to the inside, then going very wide. Senor Dude doing his best to put off a move here. It'll be a brave one into 7. And then Solshock able to get a better run going on through. Now let's see, do we lift? We do put in a little lift through turn 9. So clearly the car not quite at a point where he can go absolutely flat out through that sequence. And down into turn 10 we go then with Solshock. I believe the designer of the Kimmy's livery scheme here. And a very cool Kimmy's preschool and nursery, and Solshock through in the penultimate corner. Will that be too early? I wonder, because it's possible Senor Dude can get a good run out of the final corner. I don't think it's quite there for Senor Dude. He's not using his overtake at this stage. I think feeling like at the moment things are not too problematic. Here is Vader versus Jose Luis, and you can see what I was talking about, where Vader is in fact in second position and heading down into the corner. Let's see. We'll let Hector live on for now, at least, as Jose's 7-lap-old soft tyres are getting very old. Now Vader, one weakness I have noticed at this stage is that Vader can be tremendously impatient to make an overtake, as every great and phenomenally fast driver is, but sometimes it's his undoing. So let's see if Vader can just time his run here a little bit more patiently. BaloFey is not too far away from this battle. BaloFey also on the medium tyres here. Now you see Vader just getting a little bit of a snap, I think, thanks to the dirty air, and perhaps getting a little bit too close in that final sector of the racetrack here at Catalunya. He's not used to running behind other drivers, that much I know. But into the pits comes Jose Luis Cervantes, so that is going to absolutely rescue Vader here. And BaloFey is picking up the tow in second place. So Jose is dropping down. I have him down in 7th, possibly even further down, as the drivers will try and use the softs later on. There he is in the pit stops. You can see the P next to his name on the tower, but his position hasn't actually changed relative to the others. But Vader leads BaloFey from Beregoz and Woe Grizzle, with QT, Vicinity, Solshock and Redux your top 8 on this lap 8 of the 49. BaloFey is chasing down Vader, and Vader not disappearing with quite the speed. I think everybody mindful that they need to make their tyre stint last as long as possible on the mediums, because the other two tyres are very difficult to make work during a race. Distance, Beregoz not too far away, 2.5 seconds away from BaloFey. That means 3.2 away from the outright leader of the race, and pole position rival who Beregoz beat in qualifying, Vader. So we shall see. Look how wide Vader and BaloFey go across that yellow curb. Beregoz treating his tyres a little bit more gently and not abusing the tyres to too great an extent here. BaloFey using the overtake. Vader not too fussed about it at the moment. As we head down into turn 1, it is Vader versus BaloFey, or BaloFey on your screen. Jose Luis is outside of the top 8 at the moment, I'm afraid. And he's managed to get a much greater degree of run here from Hector. I think, sadly, and I really am sad to say, that we may have to turn off Hector, because we've got several drivers who are out of position at this stage. But you know how to find the Twitch streams, but at the moment I'm feeling like it is too problematic for everybody to make the best use of. I'm going to actually just make a decision right now and move this out of the way, so you can still see a driver's stream in picture, but yeah, unfortunately we will give you the normal race view main screen, so you can see the normal tower. Vader leading BaloFey from Beregoz, just 3.5 seconds further back. BaloFey is right on the tail of Vader. Let's join BaloFey on board and see how this is looking. Well, it's difficult to see through the halo, I have to say. So we'll perhaps go onto the TV camera at the top here, which also gives you an idea of the gradient change. BaloFey is right on the heels of Vader and not letting Vader breathe for a moment. So let's see if the Team Mega driver closes in. He's got a 1,000th of a second improvement. Purple's first sector. Vader running out of room there, certainly running out of apex, going through turn 4. Using every inch of the racetrack and picking up a little bit of dirt. You can see Vader now extending the racetrack a little bit and starting to stretch. Now he went fully over the white line on the way through turn 8, managed to get away with it. He knows this track better than anybody, having walked every inch of it, I do believe, as well as spent a great deal of time in practice. We look to that apex. Neither driver very close to the apex of turn 10 at all on the way through. So yeah, looking really good here as a battle for first position. It was Vader versus Jose. It's now Vader versus BaloFey, and it is just 0.6 of a second separating them. BaloFey continues to spend a bit of overtake here. We'll see if his engineer is going to advise him differently. Vader feels the need to go defensive down the inside line. It's very easy here to defend on the inside through 1, but over defend, and BaloFey goes side to side. Vader out on the marbles on the green painted surface, somehow gets back into the first position. I'm not quite sure how he managed that. But what an exchange between the two, and the first of the great battles. Actually, do you know what? I think I'm going to cut back to live, because I think something was about to happen. Not quite, as BaloFey is right there, and you can feel his urgency. This is how it looked from off board. You can see he's got the right to the outside line. Vader tries to cut across. Vader, in fact, goes off the circuit. A big tank slapper, and then there's further contact. Actually, there's two instances of contact through the corner that I didn't see from off board. Looks like BaloFey has managed to get through through turn what is 5, and they are shoulder to shoulder. There's a little bit of bumping going on there, and Vader is off the circuit. So let's try and catch that really early into the replay, and they go side by side. Well, BaloFey and Vader make contact. Vader is off on the dirt, and left to try and continue this race then. I don't think I'll be feeling particularly pleased about that, but BaloFey in second place might have felt somewhat aggrieved by the actions of Vader going through the first sector of the racetrack. Not that revenge is ever allowed here in SVR. I'm sure both drivers regretting any contact that they have. It is a non-contact sport. QT has pitted off his medium tyres, I do believe, at this early stage on lap 12 of the 49. I think Vicinity has possibly just got past Soulshock, or is still defending from Soulshock. Let's again have a look. No, he was fully defending and successfully defending from Soulshock as he closes in on the Team Mega driver. Let me give you the multi-camera view of Yank the Tank then, as we run through this order. Yank the Tank running in P8, just 0.2 of a second behind Woe Grizzle. Sorry, no, scratch all of that. I think Yank the Tank is miles away. Redux is in 7th place, and Jose has come out on hard tyres and is much quicker at this stage than Redux. But Redux playing the team game here, I think, to a certain extent, holding up Jose and hoping that profits QT later on. No doubt in anyone's mind where Jose Luis Cervantes hails from. He's got a Mexican flag on the nose and a Mexican tourist sponsorship on the rear wing. He tries to get through, and Redux outbrakes himself. Jose sneaks through then into 7th place, and he can go off in pursuit of the drivers who have yet to pit, as of course he's made his first pit stop. Woke Rizzle has decided to pit, and I wonder if any of our drivers will decide to get through the hard tyre very quickly and just get off it as quickly as possible. Scav is in 9th, Jogon Sim is in 10th, we've got QT in 11th place, and Senor Dude running in 12th. QT has pitted, Senor Dude has not. Yank the Tank is running in 13th place. Remember, he was dead last earlier on, so he's managed to gain a place over Liquid Gecko, who's in 14th, 8.5 seconds down, and an entire minute from the leader. But Boliday versus Vader then is your gap at the head of the field. Boliday 2.3 seconds in front of Vader, and I think extending at this stage. We've got Beregoz in 3rd vicinity, picking up some good pace at this stage as well. Well into his medium tyre run, number 42. So he runs down. He'll be thinking about his first pit stop, I think, now. It's lap 13 for vicinity, and the vast majority of the rest of our drivers already, although Vader and BaloFey cross the line. It's to start their 14th lap. We'll see if vicinity feels the need to pit now. Absolutely not. Although he's still running wide on the exit of turn 1, using the boost just momentarily, perhaps slightly early on the way out of the corner before the car had really gripped in, and Soulshock is putting in some good times. 24.0 his last one, and it looks like Vicinity managed a 23.7. So one slower lap for Soulshock on lap 12 seems to be the difference maker between the two of them. Jose is doing what Beregoz did from the start now, using those hard tyres for a decent stint. Was the hard tyre advantage. The main advantage using the hard tyre from the start is that you can run very long on your starting fuel and optimise the use of the hard tyre. However, as Beregoz saw, it went from pole down to P6 on the opening lap, so you do lose a lot in terms of outright grip. I think most drivers will be trying to use the hard as little as possible, but certainly Delesi are going a slightly different way, both starting on the hard tyre. Jogon Sim here in 8th place is running that at the moment. QT filtering through then, he's gone into the pits, hasn't put a lot of fuel on, he's running in at 9th place. And Biggerwood saying the picture-in-picture is blocking the racing. Oh, my apologies. Okay, I will just turn that right off then. Unfortunately, it's not a very convenient place for me to place that without putting something else in the way of something else, if that makes sense. So thanks, Biggs. I'll make that run. But QT is in 9th. I need to know what Ben Cox makes of the incident between Boliday and Vader on that previous section. How do you judge that? We had double contact between them in sector 1, and then we had another third round of contact where Vader ended up in the gravel. Redux pits from 9th. We've got Yank the Tank in 11th. We've got Grizzle running in 12th. Scavvy coming through in that 13th place. Bergstein starting to pick up the pace a little bit now. Somehow Yanks managed to get up to 10th from being dead last earlier on, so he's showing a great deal of quality. The gap between Boliday and Vader is 2.2 seconds, and it is stable. Beregoz, though, has dropped off the back of these two. He closed into Vader, but seemingly having a bit of trouble in the dirty air, possibly, of Vader on the hard tyres. You don't want any less grip featuring as you run through here. This is Vader. I wonder how he's feeling on board the Coach Dave Academy car. Of course, Coach Dave Academy, fantastic service for using telemetry within GT7, and you can track your racing laps, your delta, your information. You can even compare it to other drivers and find out where you're losing time. I know a lot of our drivers make full use of their discounted subscription, but it is a tremendous service. So they'll be certainly hoping that those insights help Vader to victory for the second time today. This is the original livery, of course, the red with black and white flashes for Vader as he goes very wide. But as long as you keep your inside wheels on the red and white painted curb, you are actually all right going through turn 9, but you get slightly off there, and of course you will pick up a penalty. The penalties are pretty lax here, I find, at Catalunya. It's rare to see more than a half-second penalty be awarded to the drivers. Here's Beregoz, and he continues in that P3. Some 4.8 seconds from Vader, some 7.6 from BaloFey. So that's your top 3 at the moment. The gap just opening now from Vader to BaloFey to 3.1 seconds clear. It's lap 17 of the 49. Solshock is running on his own, really, in 4th place. His vicinity has been passed now by Solshock, and he comes into the pits 1 lap early. He'll be hoping to try and perform the undercut here on Solshock. So vicinity would have been slowing to get into the pit lane. Jose Luis retakes that position back past vicinity, and he's now running those hard tyres, and he's 32 seconds away from the lead of the race. That means he is losing time to the race leaders versus his pit stop filtering, but he's on the hard tyre, of course, which most drivers I think will be trying to lose. Ben's saying the sector 1 was all fair and awesome. The incident was a bit glitchy, hard to tell, but potentially BaloFey took a bit too much speed in seeing Vader out wide is my guess. Can't quite tell. It was a tricky angle, but thank you, Ben. I appreciate your insight here. If you're seeing anything from the drivers that I'm not calling out, and even if your name is not Ben Cox and you are a top quality racing driver with experience in United Formula Ford, and he has one of the best race numbers out there, number 82, then you can still speak up and offer your insight and opinion. Bummy saying the hards don't look much better than the mediums for Beregoz. It does look like it's not really working for him at the moment, but of course he will go longer, and he'll have a longer period on lighter fuel than the other drivers. So maybe it will come to him later. I'm sure Beregoz is doing all the work, and I'm sure also he doesn't make use of all the data that's available to him of everybody else's runs using Hector, where he could potentially go and look at everyone else's race data and make determinations, but I'm sure his focus is fully on his own, and I'm sure he'll develop an encrypted data system for people who want it that way. Solshock in 4th, Jose Luis in 5th position, 32 seconds now. He is still losing time here from our outright leader BaloFey. So that is pretty interesting at this stage, that the hard tyres definitely not working on this stint. So what do you do in this position when you can see that, when your engineer can see that? Do you decide actually that this strat is not working, the medium tyre is the one to be on, I need to change? Or do you just stick with plan A? Because obviously you're hoping to make 1 fewer pit stops than the drivers who are trying to just use the softs and the mediums. But after a while, and this race is long, it's only lap 18 of the 49, after a while it starts to become quite apparent that you are losing more than the potential of running softer tyre compounds. QT in 7th, vicinity here in 8th place, just the gap of 1 second between the two. I think that's going to close in there because QT was a little slow through turn 10, and we will just join vicinity then. And here's onboard camera as we look to see for weaknesses or areas where we feel better than the car in front, as we'll pick up some dirty air coming through this corner. We have half of our boost remaining on board vicinity. Tends to spend it well, spend it fairly early as well, vicinity. One of the advantages of using that push to pass early on is that your fuel calculation in your final stint is more realistic. You don't have to over fuel, because obviously every bit of additional power you're using will end up using additional fuel. It's not just that it's electrical deployment, it does use additional fuel to do so. There you can see the Irish flag on vicinity's halo just in shot for a moment there. Unfortunately, Gran Turismo forces him to race a British flag. He does absolutely identify as Irish, and I must correct myself from a previous stream where I said he was Northern Irish British, which is inaccurate. Running through turn 10 we go. Vicinity closing in then on QT as we finish a full lap on board with Vicinity, 0.6 of a second between them. I think this is the closest battle I can see on the track at the moment. There may be one in similar distance between the drivers at the back of the grid, but for now at least this is the battle over 7th position. Of course, QT is going to get a half-second penalty that he'll have to pay. I wonder if Vicinity is tempted to just wait for that penalty, but he is using that push to pass, and he's just happy to get past QT here into turn 1, nice and smooth. QT not fighting it too hard. He knows that it will only cost them both time in the big scheme of things. QT running the mediums, but clearly Vicinities are much younger and in better condition at this stage versus QT. We've got Grizzle in 9th. We've got Redux 1.7 seconds behind him in 10th. Scavvy very much on his own here, 8 seconds to Redux as they go through, and Liquid Gecko is in 12th. Yank the Tank is in 13th and about to be lapped by 3rd place Beregoz, and there's a blue flag for Yank the Tank. We'll have a look on board with Yank and see where those blue flags are visible. There was just on the outside of the circuit a waved blue flag, but there should be a blue flag repeater, digital display from time to time coming through the corners. There's another waved blue flag, but it's difficult because it's right past the expansive runoff areas here. I'm waiting for a digital display, but I'm not seeing any. Actually, there is a slightly closer one for him, so I'm sure he'll be moving aside pretty soon, although Beregoz has dropped back slightly. New hard tyres for Yank, so he will be in a good position here in terms of outright pace. We look back to see how close Beregoz is. It's clearly too early to blend out of the throttle and get out of Beregoz's way. We're back to the full daylight white and teal livery then for Bergstein Transport Service, and again the blue flags, but Boliday and Vader pit on the same lap off their medium tyres, so no undercut or overcut happening. There may be a short fueling procedure going on, but Senor Dude is down in 14th place. He's put on the new hard tyres, so clearly the information hasn't reached him that the hard tyres are pretty useless, and it might be better to run. Well, there you go as a surprise. Beregoz pits off the hard tyre. He, I think, has decided he would prefer a straight fight on track, and you can see now BaloFey coming out on soft tyres for Team Mega, so he has barely put any fuel on board. I think he hasn't put any fuel at all, so going to use the option tyre here, go aggressive, try and build a gap to Vader, who is on the medium tyres, second set of medium tyres. Beregoz comes out of the pits, didn't put a lot of fuel on, and has actually possibly underfueled this for this stint, but he's gained time, I should say, on Vader. Jose Luis, though, is on the hard tyres, and I think he's going to fall victim to a pass pretty soon as he comes on through in that second place. We've got Vader in 3rd and Beregoz in 4th, chasing down Jose Luis Cervantes very quickly. How about this for the VR Sim Racing World Championship? Italy, Mexico, Spain, Finland, United States, Ireland, the Netherlands, and Canada represented in the top 8. I absolutely love to see it. I don't think I've ever been part of a more international league as the SVR VR exclusive GT7 Sim Racing World Championship here. I'm very, very proud to call myself a member and be able to join you here for the races, for every single race. Remember, this time on a Sunday at 7 PM UK on my channel for replays from the rest of the races. But of course, the premium race every round is exclusively here on the home of the S1 Championship at SVR-Racing. I hope you've all subscribed and you're going to like the video. Make sure you get one friend or two friends to subscribe as well. If we manage to do that with all of our members in the Discord, we would get ourselves monetized very quickly, and of course course that will help to grow the league even further. Here is Vader in P3 chasing down Jose Luis. Now meanwhile, of course, they are losing ground to BaloFey, who's on the soft tyres. This could be an absolute stroke of genius from BaloFey to put the soft tyres on at this stage. There is Vader climbing all over the inside curve of turn 8. He'll be lucky to avoid a penalty on the run through here. Beregoz able to preserve a little bit of fuel while following in the wheel tracks of Vader. And the longer it takes for Vader and Beregoz to clear Jose, the better for BaloFey here. So Team Mega leading Brokaga, leading Coach Dave and Delesi, with Team Mega again represented in P5. They badly need the points, do Team Mega, in the S1 Championship. They lead outright in the combined championship, but S1 has been a slightly poorer hunting ground for them. Here is Vader, not using the overtake, but trying to make use of the slipstream as we head down into turn 1, so not feeling the need to get too aggressive at this stage versus Jose Luis. Perhaps feeling a little bit like he needs to leave a wider margin for error than he did fighting Bolide earlier on to avoid those delays. He might be plotting his report against Bolide later on in the steward room, but at the moment that gap is opening and increasing. Vader's gap to the lead currently 14 seconds, as he is going to have to use some overtake, I feel. Jose Luis has about half of his remaining, and Vader only 1/3. Usually Beregoz is very conservative with his use of the overtake button. Vader is spamming that button. You can see it glowing red on the bottom right of your screen as we head on into turn 10. It wasn't enough to gain a position, but he's got so much more grip here. Jose is playing blocker, and he's absolutely has every right to do so in this position. He's hoping that every bit of every corner he can successfully defend against Vader is going to buy him time later. What does Jose do? He's using the overtake button too, but I feel it's almost certain that Vader is going to be able to overcome Jose using the slipstream, using the overtake allowance here. Jose defends to the inside. Oh, there was a little bit of a squeeze going on there on the way through the corner, but Vader not overreacting. That was definitely a Leclerc Verstappen moment, wasn't it? Against the two. Let's maybe watch that one again, perhaps from Jose's perspective, as he comes through, you see, and then he closes off the line as Vader's drifting towards the inside line as well, trying to put the squeeze on, and a slight miscalculation, I think, from both drivers as they head down the start-finish straight. I think they touched, but very, very gently, and Beregoz the next one then to try and make a move, and he'll be feeling a little bit pensive as he approaches Jose Luis now, who's clearly made his intentions very clear. He is going to hold these guys up as much as possible while he's on the worst tyre, and as I said, every right to do that. Beregoz making the move down the inside line, and he's not going to be content waiting for turn 1 where you can switch back on each other. He's scythed straight through, but he has still lost time to Vader, who is now 16 seconds shy of BaloFey. Bolide has the pace advantage at the moment. Vader will get to enjoy that tyre advantage later. And he is in second place. That's Senor Dude, his teammate, right in front. Senor Dude will be as kind as possible and give him the most generous tow he can, and then deny it to Beregoz. I think they'll be well drilled, this team, to be helpful in the service of Vader. His stormtroopers are famous for their allegiance, and that was very easy then for Vader to get through past Senor Dude. 15.7 seconds that gap now, but of course Bolide has that track position. He's just lapping Yank the Tank. I feel like that's for the second time, but I think it's a re-lapping thanks to the pit stop procedure. So number 92 delayed a little bit going through that sequence, but of course that's a car that Vader is going to have to lap himself as well, unfortunately. So yeah, looks like our problem with Hector was that he didn't switch out of qualifying mode and stayed in qualifying mode potentially, and that's why our race order was getting a little bit confused. Vader getting a lot of dirt on those outside tyres. It's clearly very much in a hurry up here. We'll we'll see what his lap time comes out at versus BaloFey. That was a 121.6 that time. BaloFey managing a 23.3, stuck behind Yenk the Tank, but clearly going a lot quicker now. His fastest lap, a 120.10 seconds, BaloFey, versus Vader here. But of course they're doing a key strategic battle right now, and of course every 10th matters later on when the strategies collide. Beregoz has used 2 compounds. Vader has not used 2 compounds. Now, is Vader going to be 2-stopping this and using the hard tyres? Is he going to switch onto the soft tyres later on? Has he left little enough of the race remaining to use medium, soft? What is BaloFey going to do with his tyre selection? I feel fairly certain he's going to switch onto the mediums. And Jose Luis Cervantes is in 4th position. That's with no inside information, by the way. That's just my feeling that while he's got that track position, and if he can do it, it will do. Black Evo asking for P13 times. Yeah, my apologies. Okay, I'm sorry if I missed that. So Yenk the Tank, gap times. Yenk 8.4 in front, 21.1 behind. Currently running at a 125.4 lap procedure. This is QT in 6th place. Vicinity in 5th at the moment. Very much all on his own there. He's got 13 seconds in front and behind. It's a lonely old race for him. Soulshock's in 7th. I think starting to catch QT at this stage. 23.6 his last lap. Were Grizzle running in 8th place, with just 2.2 seconds behind Redux, 3.8 seconds further back. Joe Gonsim back onto the permanent circuits after a great 4th place in Tokyo. Joe has, and very much on brand with his helmet choice here for the Delesi squad. Scavy in P11. Looks like a Team Mega of that is the leader. BaloFey being allowed through from Scavy. Very good blue flag behaviour there from Scavy, despite the fact that just over a second behind him is a driver catching him at the moment, Liquid Gecko, in 12th place. You can see then Liquid Gecko closing in. He's been passed by BaloFey. I think we will probably see Vader at the rear of shot occasionally. Oh, it's a little way back even now, as Balo has gone through this battle. I wonder if Vader has been able to get through past Yenk the Tank or not. I think actually not at this stage. That's like Liquid Gecko in 12th and Yenk the Tank in 13th. So Liquid closing in. It's lap 28 of the 49. BaloFey leading this race. Some questionable contact going through turn 5 with Vader. Ended up with Vader in the gravel, but there was contact earlier in the lap as well, which our Tame Racing driver decided was fair, and then a little bit undecided, I think, about that battle into turn 5. I think that sounds more than fair, and a voice I will absolutely listen to. Do make sure that you are following Ben Cox Racing on Instagram and on YouTube. He's got some great YouTube content, as well as keeping us all very entertained on Instagram as well, as he looks for funding to continue his racing career in or similar to the United Formula Ford. Senior Dude then in 14th place at the moment, at the back of the grid. Redux and Liquid Gecko are pitting right now. BaloFey has a 14.5 second gap to Vader, but I'm expecting him to now have to pit pretty soon. That front left, I hope you can see that on this screen. Yeah, it looks like you can see that quite nicely on screen. He's managing to run that very comfortably at the moment. Just a reminder that our merch store is open, and I will leave that on screen now that I've got the real estate for it. Yeah, you can go ahead and make sure that you are supporting the channel in an old new way, which is, of course, to make sure that you are fully kitted out for your sim racing. I mean, everybody needs a set of sim racing socks and a team affiliated t-shirt, right, to race in. I mean, easily get 3/10 out of that, no doubt in my mind. BaloFey 14.5 seconds in front of Vader, but that is closing in fairly quickly as BaloFey comes in. That pit wall I have hit twice in practice just today, so be very careful on the way in. But BaloFey, obviously a far more experienced racer than I, as Vader comes through in second place. He'll be pleased to see the pit indicator on the screen, or at least his engineer will tell him. He'll see himself go into first position once again, but it is not all over between the two of them. Oh, Ben Cox has got a charity skydive. Amazing. Oh, fantastic, Ben. Well, we will make sure we're supporting you as much as possible. Do quote SVR if you're going to give him some money. I really fancy that myself one day, a skydive. So, Ben, I'd love to hear from you as to how it goes in DMs, but I will keep my eye on YouTube and Insta, because that will be fantastic. What charity are you supporting, Ben? Please make us all aware. So yeah, please get on to socials right now and make sure you're following Ben Cox Racer and you're supporting him in his charitable endeavours, and hopefully we wish him happy landings as well from the charity skydive. I don't know if it's your first and how you're feeling about it, Ben. I'm asking you about 12 questions on a live chat, so that's probably poor form. Vader leading by 3.9 seconds from Beregoz, who is on the medium tyre. Beregoz might decide to switch to the softs, but it's only lap 31 of the 49. I feel like those mediums really do need some coaxing here to get through to a finish. Apologies for that notification on screen. I think that's coming from my Twitch channel that I accidentally left up. Oh well. Beregoz in second. He's got a big queue of drivers to overtake, as Vader has just dealt with, I think, all of them. Has he? No, he's got one more driver to cope with here in that position. Lap 32 of 39. Vader leading by 4.3 seconds. Beregoz in second. We've got Jose in third place. What did BaloFey decide to do? It is medium tyres, but a 1 second penalty. That's pretty harsh. He's got his teammate not far behind him at the moment. Vicinity running in fifth place. BaloFey's gap to the leader, 24 seconds. Expect that to grow thanks to this penalty. But, of course, with Vader needing to pit again, my anticipation is that BaloFey needs to pit again as well. We're looking at the fuel remaining on BaloFey's car. I'm just going to use Hector privately here to try and have a look at the fuel remaining. Oh, I can't even do that. No, Hector has absolutely died on us, unfortunately. I'll try on my second screen, and I've got completely unreactive Hector. So I can't tell whether he's fueled to a finish, but I strongly doubt it looking at the fuel load remaining. Lap 32 of 49, so that makes 17 laps to go. Dementia UK in memory of grandparent. Oh, fantastic. Good on you, Ben Cox. Please drop a confirmation in live chat today that you have subbed somewhere to one of Ben Cox's channels, either on YouTube or Instagram. It's not difficult to find Ben Cox Racing, so yeah, please reassure him that we've got good people here in SVR and we're right behind him all the way. So great cause, well done, Ben. I'd love to see it. Vicinity in fifth place in number 42 with the red chase lines over the black. Use GT7 fuel tracker on the last tab. Yeah, I'm trying, Biggerwood, but Hector's dead. As far as my connection to Hector is concerned, I'm afraid. I will try and load up, but unfortunately, yeah, I'm getting nowhere and nowhere fast right now trying to do that. So I'll do my best, but yeah, unfortunately, I can't access anything. You see, on my browser, it's not working either. It's going to be too much of a distraction to find out that information. I think it's even a struggle just to find the right driver here. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, I'm showing him at the moment. I'm showing BaloFey running out of fuel on lap 50. So it does say he's got enough fuel to finish at the moment anyway. So let's fingers crossed for him, as Jose Luis Cervantes pits then off the hard tyre. 22 litres of fuel remaining on the car at this stage. Where are Beregoz and Vader? Well, they are 5.7 seconds apart. 5.7 seconds apart. Oh, on GT7, like the brake balance section. Oh, I see what you mean. It doesn't work, I'm afraid, on here. I can't change that. I just have to look into it when I see it. So sometimes you'll get it. Like, so here's BaloFey is showing his session times. Beregoz is showing the track map, which is the usual one, but I have no control as a spectator, unfortunately, Biggs. So yeah, it's you play with the tools that you've got, but unfortunately, sometimes they sort of mislead you a little bit. Solshock's in 5th place at the moment. Jogon Sim in 6th. I'm just going to check on everybody else's fuel load actually while I can see. It looks like Vader is marginal with his fuel, but should be able to reach the end of lap 49. Beregoz, well, as far as I can see, Beregoz is absolutely not going to reach the end of the race, and Beregoz will have to there he comes. So he will then put an extra few litres of fuel on the car. Medium tyres at the moment. I think the final set of mediums potentially. He will then drop behind BaloFey. BaloFey's gap to Vader is 24.2 seconds now. Let me compare lap times. 121.445 for BaloFey on that previous lap. Vader at 122.154. And the previous lap at 21.6. So it does look like BaloFey at this stage does still have a decent pace difference and a decent advantage in pace against Vader. BaloFey fueled to a finish, Vader fueled to a finish, but those medium tyres, that is going to be some going to do another 15 laps on those medium tyres. So that's going to be pretty huge. So big ask here for Vader. Beregoz in P3 has pitted, has added fuel. Let me try and get an update on his fuel consumption situation. Yeah, that's broken, unfortunately for me. So I can't really give you any accurate picture. Looking like Jose Luis is fueled okay to a finish as well. So that says just about 1/4 of a tank of fuel. Beregoz looks fine then. So if you've got 1/4 of a tank of fuel on board at the moment, you're fine to a finish at this stage. But Vader, I'm worried about that front left tyre. So feel like that is not going to do the distance. So even if he has the fuel and he can eke out the fuel at the end of this race, my feeling is that he's going to need to stop for a set of soft tyres before the end, or mediums, depending on how he's feeling. But Beregoz pits and comes out on another set of the hard tyres. And that's interesting with 15 to go. So a real massive difference in those strategies for the drivers. This is the gap between 3rd and 4th position. They're catching, I think that's Senor Dude, is it? Round the corner as they go through. So Beregoz in 3rd and Jose in 4th position. Now Jose with a tyre advantage at the moment on the medium tyres, and I think an advantage all the way to the end of this race. Jose, so he should be able to do something here, I think. Beregoz is by no means an easy driver to pass, but he's on the harder of the two compounds, at least for the next 10 laps. I think that medium tyre on Jose Luis's car is going to be a lot more comfortable. 0.6 of a second separate the two. Vader leads this race by 22 seconds, and Jose, oh, that's heartbreaking. I was just chalking up his chances, but not so close that I can be blamed for cursing, I don't think. I didn't say he's guaranteed a 3rd position. As he goes into the corner, is this just onto the yellow curb? No, it's just a little bit of oversteer going into turn 11, unfortunately for him. And that is running down the order then. Jose in 4th. There goes Solshock though, and he gets a little bit of hope, because in front of him is now the recently spun Jose Luis Cervantes. Solskjaer on older hard tyres, which should make the end no problem, but they won't be particularly quick. Jogon Sim, well in touch here for another strong finish, although running very low on fuel, so a pit stop imminent from him. Vicinity looks like he's just been in, and he's gone on the hard tyres as well. Not confident in getting the medium to the finish of the race, but fueled up perfectly. We've got Grizzle, perhaps slightly overfueled there in the P8, and within 2 seconds of him, QT number 95, team boss, server owner, QT, and actually company owner of Jan Placht Interiors, and he is running in P9. Yank the Tank, Redux is in P10 at the moment, so it's a 9-10 for the Jan Placht Interiors car, and then Yank the Tank is in 11th place. Scavvy currently pitting in 12th, and I think Senor Dude will stay 13th despite that pit stop ongoing. From his perspective, does he just see Senor Dude, Scavvy coming out? No, he's still 8 seconds in the lead in that second place. Then Liquid Gecko is at the back, so 2 minutes 17 off the ultimate pace of the leader at this stage. And there's a blue flag for Liquid Gecko. I think possibly Jose coming through there in 4th place. So I think Liquid Gecko might have just been passed by Beregoz. Here's Vader leading the race, 22 seconds still with the fuel available to him to a finish, but I remain skeptical about the tyre, that front left, and one would imagine that BaloFey should be able to start really reeling him in. Vader 21.8, that last lap 22.7 versus BaloFey's 21.4. So I would say that with 10 laps to go, that is very marginal for BaloFey. But of course, Vader's laps should get worse while BaloFey's are still getting better for the next few laps anyway. Fingers crossed we'll have a grandstand finish. Beregoz has dropped off the back of BaloFey by another 22 seconds on that hard tyre. I think this was a misstep. I think if he watches the race back, he will analyse the other driver's strategies and perhaps think 2 occasions on the hard tyre was one too many, or maybe even two too many in the grand scheme of things. He's gone back-to-back winner in the previous 2 rounds, but it looks like that is going to be too far away now, 44.5 seconds away from Vader's lead of the race. Jose Luis Cervantes is in P4 and just 1.5 seconds with the penalty to pay here. And his deficit to Beregoz now out to 11.3 seconds after that spin. That is pretty heartbreaking for the Mexican. Solskjaer in 5th. Looks like a luchador. I think it's an anime helmet that Solskjaer's gone for, but it looks almost like a luchador helmet. I do rather like it, I have to say. With Solskjaer, let's close right in on that helmet design so you can really appreciate it with the eyes there above the visor. Love it. If you know the anime that it references, let me know. I'm afraid I'm not an anime specialist. That's all. Even my sons, who love anime dearly, couldn't guess all of the Coach Dave Delta Cars stickers from Tokyo. They were kicking themselves afterwards when I revealed the answers. Vicinity is in 6th place. As Grizzle is running in 7th. Let me know your pick of the liveries today, and your opinion on a bit of a hot topic here in SVR. Do we appreciate liveries changing, as long as our main team sponsor names are prominent and their colour schemes are maintained? Do we appreciate new liveries, or would we rather stick to classic and just have one guest livery for the duration of the race? QT versus BaloFey at the moment. This is a lapping procedure for BaloFey. But yeah, let me know what you think. Personally, I'm a big fan of updated liveries per race. As long as we stick to similar themes, I really like it. But that's just me being visual and enjoying talking about them on stream. Redux in 9th place. good 2 races here for the substitute driver. I think might be a substitute for the rest of the season, but that's just a rumour I've heard. So Stig, if you're watching, let me know if I'm misrepresenting the situation. Jogon Sim catching Yank the Tank here. Joe on mediums, Yank the Tank on old hard tyres. So this is quite a significant challenge then for Yank to hold on. This is going to be really hard for a very popular racer, Yank the Tank. Although I think this week has been perhaps spending way too much of his SF23 practice time messing about on Mario Kart on the Switch 2 by the look of his output on socials. Make sure you're following Yank the Tank as well, please, guys. Vader pits then from the lead of the race. This is really important as we close in on the final few laps. So Vader comes in with 8 laps to go. This is really interesting then, because it's going to bring Bolide and Vader close together. But is Vader going to be able to use the soft tyres for 7 laps? I think so. Here is BaloFey. This is his view of the pit lane situation. You probably see Vader appear out there. Not really. Well, here he is, Vader, just coming out of the pits now. I think there was a little bit of fuel went on board, and he has indeed gone for the soft tyres. He's got 8 laps, not even 8 complete laps, and the soft tyres to make up 9 seconds from a driver he may not be feeling like sending any kind of greetings cards to at this stage of the season. Vader still has, first of all, to deal with Redux in that P9, who should step out of the way. Sorry, Redux. Oh dear. Okay, Redux, I'm going to have to claim the fault for this one. I don't think there was contact, but it was about now I said he's going to step out of the way. Okay. Oh, I might have to remember that moment for later. Okay, so Vader in P2 has an 8.3 second deficit to BaloFey. That was, yeah, pretty golden moment there for us. So, outlap for Vader, closing in. He can't yet see his target. There is another car in the way. That's QT he's chasing down. I hope you guys enjoyed that moment as much as I did. I don't know if I'm just getting delirious now after a lot of racing today. Watching a lot of racing cars, taking part in one myself as well. Beregoz in 3rd place with Jose in 4th. Solshock 5th place. Let me find that battle again. It's Vicinity in 6th. We're Grizzle in 7th. No real risk for these drivers. QT in 8th. Jogon Sim in 9th. We have Yank the Tank in 11th position, in 10th position, and Redux in 12th with that little spin. I think the tyres not in great shape for Redux. Scavy in 12th. Liquid Gecko in 13th place. At the back of the grid, we've got Senor Dude in 14th. Our graphic designer extraordinaire, letting another guy go through very kindly there, Senor Dude. 6.8 seconds is the gap then. Let's ride on board with Vader and see how these laps progress. So we'll go on to this gyro cam on the engine cover. Vader and give away all of his secrets as we watch. He will now try and pump in fast laps. That's a new fastest lap of all, a 1:19.6. He doesn't have a lot of boost left on the car, unfortunately, for him. So, very interesting to see. As we have 5 laps remaining, including, well, in addition to the one that they're on right now. Vader, 0.2 of a second shy of his best. All right out on the grass. That is so on the edge. And this is Vader at his absolute best. This is him pushing like crazy to try and get this win back. Soft tyres, low fuel. The car is going to be feeling absolutely glorious for Vader right now. So let's check on Vader, and we'll have a look at his fuel position at the moment. Yeah, he's just got enough to finish the race, it seems. abusing those yellow curbs, climbing all over them. This is Vader's home race, remember, and unlike the end of season party last year, he is absolutely showing up in his home location. Sorry, Vader, I had to get that one in from hearing from other drivers recently. Vader in second, Beregoz in that third place, but a distant third now on the hard tyre, you have to say. Distant also is Jose in fourth place. A little spin costing him a chance at a podium today, I think. Solshock pounding around the circuit in P5, running in the 1:24s at the moment on the hard tyre. That's a painful run to close out the race when you are tired, and this bright Spanish sun has been beating down on you. Vicinity's in 6th and running well here for Team Mega, who are currently 1st and 6th. Great haul of points coming Team Mega's way. I think whatever happens at the front of the grid today. Well, Grizzle in P7 for Brokaga, driving the wheels off his car right now, having a real flush of form, as is Jogon Sim at this stage. So P8, I think he'll be very happy with a top 10. Will Joe, unless he's reset his expectations after Tokyo. It didn't sound like it on the podcast. Into the Slipstream is the SVR podcast. Don't forget, make sure you're listening in for the inside line on lots of our racers and the intrigue and discussion points throughout the course of each round. QT in 9th place, Yengletang in 10th. QT just about to be lapped right now from Beregoz. Scavy in 11th, and rushing through then. So really doing a great job at the moment with Scavy. Redux in 12th. We've got Jose just behind him. Liquid Gecko's just visiting the gravel. Liquid gravel at this stage, getting passed by teammate Solshock. And at the back of the grid is Senor Dude. So Vader in second, Senor Dude right at the back then for Coach Dave, but putting in fastest times for himself there on a new set of soft tyres. That's got to feel good. This is your gap at the front of the field then. Wow, with just over 3 laps to go, the gap is down to 1.7 seconds. It is on, folks. It is on for the last few laps, and they have already been in contact at least twice, if not 3 times, these two, as Bummy says. An absolute nail biter this one is going to be to finish, so we are really looking forward to seeing how this goes. This is on the very nose of Vader. You can study his track application and his lines. Probably not going to be abusing those lines too greatly. Well, in hot pursuit now of BaloFey. Some great trail braking from Vader as well. Not a driver with the most expensive equipment either in the league, I believe, Vader. So he is all talent, and of course a fair amount of hard work too. Not a lot of boost remaining on the car, but more than BaloFey. I probably shouldn't have said that because engineers are probably watching, but there you have it. It's been said now. Vader 1.4 seconds only as he reels in BaloFey. And I want to make sure that we join BaloFey and look back perhaps from his rear wing. Let's see, as the pursuit is on, BaloFey would be so tempted to use that last bit of boost, but he really needs to hang on to it as far as I'm concerned. Vader, I'm sure, is using his boost at the moment. We can't quite see it. 1 second then to go with 2 laps to a finish here. Bummy's been watching racing cars for a long time with us here on SVR today. He is absolutely gripped, and I hope the rest of you are too. Just time to get in your predictions. Who will be victorious now that Vader suddenly has the dirty air to follow behind BaloFey? Is that going to arrest his progress? Is it going to make life harder? Has BaloFey just been keeping his powder dry for the final sector? Can Vader reel in BaloFey and get a win on his home race as he returns to the league from a race, missing a race here. That was a big gain for Vader through the middle sector of this lap 48 of the 49 as he goes wide. 0.6 of a second is what it's down to. Vader isn't within striking distance just yet, but he's clearly got a much better car underneath him. Can BaloFey hold on into the final lap of the race? A big snap coming from BaloFey momentarily there. This is going to be fascinating between the two of them. Vader kicks out a little bit on the dirt, but he's certainly been doing that all race long, so it's hardly unusual. Unfussed, unbothered by the dirt, and he kicks it up in our face as well. 0.7 of a second now, using the overtake button in pulses to try and get those extra clicks on the way down this main straight. He's not in range into turn one. There was a big gain through the middle sector as they ran through on the previous lap. Can Vader make the difference on the way through? They've probably, no, BaloFey has actually spent all of his boost on the run down into the first corner, so he needs an absolutely perfect run on this final lap, on this final run through the second sector. Down they go into turn 5. A kick of dirt from BaloFey. Vader had to deal with that one. I can't quite tell if BaloFey is going to have to pass a lapped car. Well, there's one just in his eye line. Vader goes a little bit wide, pushing incredibly hard. Is that the end of Vader's battle? Running through turn 9, Vader with better grip, but the gap has extended to 0.8 of a second. BaloFey unlocking pace right when it matters absolutely most. He's doing the best to stay ahead here. 0.75 of a second that gap now as they go through the concertina effect of turn 10. Suddenly BaloFey looks really slow through turn 11 into turn 13. There's one more corner to go. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who's going to get it? Vader's got a little bit of boost remaining on the car as they go all the way to the line, and BaloFey wins on the road by 3.5 of a second. Unbelievable from the two of them. What a race from Vader and BaloFey as they come to an absolute climax across the line. BaloFey winning by 0.3 of a second, but that is within range of a potential penalty if the stewards get involved later. Beregoz crosses the line for a double hard fought victory in third place on the podium then for Beregoz. Jose Luis is running in 4th place, will come through and take home good points, I think, for Bro Karga, as Bummy says he's done it, and Biggerwood says what an ending. That absolutely was. Soul Shock is coming home in 5th place and trying to hold off the Resurgent Vicinity right now, who is on the soft, well, I thought he was on the soft tyres. He's not. He's on newer hard tyres. He has no overtake boost remaining, neither does Soul Shock, but I think Soul Shock just needs to hang on one more corner for Soul Shock to take home 5th position after the 49 laps. He looks up, the checkered flag greets him, so does it for Vicinity. He goes 6th. Wo Grizzle will come home, the last driver, I think, to cross the start-finish line in the top group. Jogon Sim in 8th, QT in 9th, Yank the Tank in 10th, Scavvy, Redux, and I will get to the end and show you the finish. But BaloFey winning on track, 2 places up. A masterful performance from him in terms of outright pace out there. Possibly a question mark with the tactical battle on track with Vader, but hanging on by his fingernails. 3.5 of a second. One of our closest finishes for a win we have experienced here in the Sim Racing World Championship here at SVR. And let's have a look then at those final results. The top 8. BaloFey, Vader, Beregoz, Jose, Soul Shock, Vicinity, Wo Grizzle, and Joe Gon Sim. Fastest lap went to Vader as well, a 19.6. And then QT, Yank the Tank, Scavvy, Redux, Liquid Gecko, and Senor Dude finishing 2 laps down. But man, I am worn out. I am breathless. My voice is destroyed. So it's probably a good enough time to say thanks to everybody for watching. I hope you really enjoyed that one as much as we did here in the comms booth, in the production team. Make sure that you visit our merch store here at SVR Racing. I've got one too if you want to head to my links through my channel. But yes, do support the channel in every way you possibly can. Look out for more racing from SVR from today's races. The S2 and AN races should be live on my channel at 7 p.m. on Thursday, UK time, that is. But we will see you next week, of course, for the G1 here at Barcelona with the nasty Mickey Mouse chicane at the end of the race. But from me, Webbo, from everybody here at SVR, thank you so much for spending your time with us, and we will catch you on the next race day.